You see, I predicted it'd be this bad, but when you actually watch it, and it turns out actually that bad, it's pretty hard to watch and kind of devastating. Hey everyone, welcome to the JayVaters, my review for the movie Star Wars, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, this is the third installment of the Disney trilogy Star Wars films. They have finally come to an end. A franchise that I have been really mixed on. I've had my ups and downs with this new Disney Star Wars franchise. I loved it in the beginning. When Force Awakens came out, I'm like, this is like the brand new Star Wars, and like this is how Star Wars is how it's supposed to be. Like this is truly Star Wars. Then The Last Jedi came out, and I had Star Wars goggles on, and that means I didn't see anything but a Star Wars movie. I didn't judge the film as a film or what it's doing to Star Wars. I'm just such a huge Star Wars fanboy. I went to that movie already going to love it and give it a perfect rating and stuff, and I didn't do a real critique on it. I knew Last Jedi deep down was not that great, but the Star Wars goggles just made me love that film, and just, yeah. Even Solo. Solo is a shitty film, but I still wanted to be nice with it because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't want to hate any Star Wars movie. But then I just started watching them again, and I just realized they don't work really that well. Force Awakens kind of does, but the other ones don't. Rogue One is probably the best one, actually. But they just don't work. They don't have interesting characters, interesting stories. They borrow so many tropes from the original, and they're trying so hard to be their own thing, but they live off nostalgia, and they're just not very good movies. And then, after watching this movie, Rise of Skywalker, these movies will never be remembered as the true Star Wars trilogy. Fuck, even the prequels were more memorable than these films. And the prequels aren't very good, but at least they're interestingly bad. These movies are just kind of dull, and they're just kind of bland and stuff, and this movie, Rise of Skywalker, is not only the worst one out of all of these Disney Star Wars films, but I think it's almost worse than any prequel. This is a really bad movie. It is so bad, so flawed, so boring, so desperate to erase everything The Last Jedi did. It comes off so convoluted and just makes absolutely no fucking sense. And it's just an absolute waste of time. This entire trilogy is a waste of time. And when they bring in these new characters, you don't give a rat's ass about them. And when all these characters from the previous two films finally team up, you don't buy the camaraderie, you don't buy the chemistry, because Rey, Finn, and Poe, they didn't really spend a lot of time together throughout these films. They're all separated through The Last Jedi and stuff, and Rey didn't even meet Poe in the first one, so they didn't have 3 films to build this friendship like the original trilogy did. So when you're watching Han, Luke, and Leia in the original trilogy, you feel the growth of their friendship, and you feel the romance grow as Han and Leia don't like each other at first, but then they start to respect each other and admire each other, and then even fall in love with each other. The growth of the friendship, you buy it and you feel it through the original trilogy. These people, I don't buy them as friends. When C-3PO's like, I'm saying bye to my friends, I'm like, these people aren't your goddamn friends. The fucking original cast is your fucking friends. These people, C-3PO had no scenes with these people except in this movie, so we're supposed to just buy that he's friends with these fucking people, which is not. Like, there is no legit chemistry and legit camaraderie in this film with any of these fucking characters, because it's really horribly written, and they're just not well structured, and just, it's all over the place. This whole franchise, this new Star Wars franchise by Disney, is an absolute goddamn mess. And it tries so hard to live on nostalgia that it doesn't actually focus on creating interesting, deep, and good stories. They even bring in Palpatine in this movie, and how they do it, I won't spoil it, is really dumb. It's really stupid. And then, like, a lot of the twists in this movie are even dumber. A lot of them I saw coming, for reasons I can't explain, because I don't want to. But if you saw a certain video of mine a few weeks ago, yeah, that's all I gotta say, yeah. I was very fearful of this film when I heard about these leaks. And now when I saw this movie, I'm like, yeah, people should be worried. This is a really bad movie. It's a really shitty movie. I think it's one of the worst goddamn Star Wars movies I've seen. I've never been so bored in my life and so annoyed in my life watching a goddamn Star Wars film. I thought this movie was shit. And it sucks because there's actually good things sprinkled in it. Like, Adam Driver's a great actor and he's giving a good performance, but Kylo Ren is such a dumb character. It's so uninteresting and just so all over the place. You're just like, huh? And then, like, something happens to him at the end of the movie. You're just like, none of that makes sense and none of that was earned. None of it was actually earned. Daisy Ridley's bland as shit, and like, you thought she was a Mary Sue in the first two films? She's like God mode in this fucking movie. Like, okay, like, come on now. Like, how is she this strong? Like, come on, no, fuck off, movie. And Finn, I love John Boyega, and he's a good actor. They ruined his character. Like, a stormtrooper turning good is interesting. That could be a very compelling story, but they went nowhere with it. Nowhere with that. He should have been the main character in all these films. If that was the whole movie about a stormtrooper leaving the First Order and trying to find his own path in life, that's interesting. That's why The Mandalorian works. It's about a bounty hunter and trying to help and save this child. He's part of the species that doesn't exist, and he's a Jedi Knight, this child, and the Mandalorian wants to protect the child. That's the whole story of The Mandalorian so far. It's very simplistic. But Star Wars movies don't want to do that. They don't want to be simplistic. I would love to watch a whole movie about Finn trying to find his place in the world and find his new path because he was raised to kill people and be a stormtrooper, but he doesn't want to be a stormtrooper anymore. That's interesting. He was the most interesting part of Force Awakens, and they did nothing. They did him so wrong, and I feel so bad for John Boyega. I really do. Oscar Isaac is charming as usual, but he just, again, has nothing to do. He's just there to say quippy lines, and that's it. Billy D. Williams is back as Lando Calrissian. He does nothing in the movie. Carrie Fisher's in it. She does nothing in the movie. J.J. Abrams is back directing the film. He basically is just trying to, like, erase everything The Last Jedi did. That's his entire job to do. I get it's a very difficult task to do, but how about you just focus on making a good, compelling story instead of trying to erase the last film? The movie just comes off complicated, stupid, and just horribly executed. And just like, you're watching like, what is happening? Does the writers even know what the hell they're talking about? They just make stuff up. They make up new rules for the Force and new rules for the Jedi and stuff. I'm like, okay, sure, just make up shit. I get the Force is a very mysterious thing, but like some things I'm just like, okay, come on. A Jedi cannot do that. Like, seriously, come on now. Like, what the fuck? Like, and then Palpatine's back, and you got Ian McDiarmid, and he's a great actor, and, like, he doesn't say or do anything that interesting, and he's not even intimidating. He's the best part of the prequels. He was awesome in those movies. He's so boring in this movie. How dare you make Palpatine the least boring character, make him boring? Come on. Sure, the visuals are great. It's a Star Wars movie. That's a gimme. The visuals are always going to be great. But even the action was, I just didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about the action because there's no stakes to the action. And it's predictable action. You know the outcome to every action scene. Every chase scene, you know they're going to get out. Every lightsaber duel, you know who's going to win that duel. And even at the ending climax, you know exactly where it's going to go. The movie thinks it's so clever and thinks it's going to bring these amazing twists and turns and surprise you, but it's not that surprising. Like, it's not. And, like, movies like this, they think because they put twists in it and they subvert your expectation, I think that's good storytelling. Just because they, you know, oh, you didn't see that coming, so that means we're deep and clever and that makes it good. Just because you don't see something coming doesn't mean it's good. Just saying. Doesn't mean that's good. And that was a lot of people's excuse for The Last Jedi, and they say it's great because, you know, it does something different, unique, and you didn't see any of that coming, but that doesn't make it good. Just because something is something you don't see coming doesn't make it good. That'd be like if Snoke was Kermit the Frog. You don't see that coming, doesn't make it a good twist. I'm just saying. And just, The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, just didn't like this movie. I I didn't like how it was shot. I didn't like how it was paced. It feels like an 8-hour movie crammed in 2.5 hours. And there's a lot of stuff they talk about. There's a lot of heavy exposition, and it bored the shit out of me. Halfway through this movie, I wanted to walk out. I've never wanted to walk out of a Star Wars movie. Never. Even the bad ones, I wanted to stick it out. This one, I literally wanted to get up off my seat and just leave. I was so bored and sick and tired of this shit. I hated these characters and the story so much, I just wanted to leave. I think if you hate these Disney Star Wars movies, you're gonna hate this movie a lot. But I even feel like even if you're a fan of these new Star Wars films, there's something about this movie I think will rub people the wrong way. I get why people are actually negative on this one, because it really sucks. It's a really bad movie, and I absolutely hated it, and I will not recommend it. As a Star Wars movie, it's like a 2 out of 10. But as a movie, it's like a 3.5, so I'll be a little generous and give Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker a 2.9 out of 10. So this movie was shit. It's one of my least favorite films of the year, and it's easily one of the most disappointing, and couldn't stand it. Just didn't like it. So that was my review for the movie Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker. It just sounds weird saying that. Rise of Skywalker. What are your thoughts and opinions? What is your favorite Star Wars movie? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.